31st, 2015. Notification was sent to the Star Ledger, promptly posted on the municipal public bulletin board, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk, informing the public of time and place according to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Law, Chapter 231, PL 1975. So please, everyone, shut off or go with your cell phones. Appreciate it. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Wait for our borough clerk.
Oh, I'm ready.
No, borough clerk. Okay. Okay. Mr. Bernard, you have any this evening?
Thank you, Mayor. I do have two matters, but they're both going to be in executive session later on. One is a personnel matter, and the other one, personnel/litigation and litigation. The other one is a litigation concerning the affordable housing litigation. So we'll be discussing those in
Okay, and
executive
we can
session.
schedule that at the end of the meeting. Is that
Yeah,
correct? Okay. And we'll take no action on that?
No, there'll be no formal action taken tonight after the executive session on
Thank
either
you.
of those matters.
Ms. Ariella?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Okay. Any unfinished business of the council? Any new business? I have none. It is with regret that I accept the resignation of Bob Engelberg as mayor's representative to the Union County Transportation Advisory Board. I would personally like to thank Bob for his tenure of service representing Garwood. I wish him well in his future endeavors. This evening, I will be appointing former Councilman Walter Tucker to be Garwood's representative to the board. Council President Petrozelli, Councilwoman Tedesco, former Councilwoman Carney, and I attended the 2016 reorganization meeting of the Union County Freehold. I will point out some of the Chairman Bergen's initiatives entitled One County, One Community. The following in particular will be helpful to our community. Once again, they will offer the infrastructure grant to municipalities as they're asking the municipalities to prioritize the local road pavings in their community. Another initiative is Union County at Work and Play. This includes new jobs, business assistant grants, and quality of life improvements, as well as economic development programs. The Union County Economic Development Council was recently awarded a $1.3 million grant from the federal government to make loans from $50,000 to $250,000 to small businesses. The library grant program this year will be continued, and they're going to double the amount in that grant money available to the communities. The senior focus improving on enhancing senior centers that will offer this year the anticipated funds for smaller items such as kitchens, doors, windows, and other interior objects for renovations. Fire and mutual aid projects will be forwarded in an effort to equip the county's 20 fire departments with compatible radios to promote better communication during emergencies. The final initiative addresses the need for a regional animal shelter to help with consistent animal control and promote humane treatment of animals. This Saturday, January 19th, the Mayor's Saturday, will be held at 11 a.m. at Borough Hall. Excuse me. I have invited Councilman Mike Martin to join me. Please stop by and chat with us. That's all for my report this evening. We'll continue on to comments or matters for discussion from members of council. Councilwoman Kukrow.
Nothing, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Martin. Okay. Councilman Matthews.
Yeah, just a couple things, Mayor. This past Saturday, it was my pleasure to attend the orientation for newly elected and experienced elected officials with Councilperson Sarno and Kukrow. We had a good time there. It was really good. You know, the most interesting part I find is always the networking, talking to people, particularly people far and wide, who were just recently elected. One thing that came up, it's interesting, among the elected officials, all one wanted to talk about was COA and development. That seems to be going on everywhere. Fill in the blanks, they all have a property that they are referring to. The other thing that was kind of disturbing, I just want to put it on our radar screen, perhaps for a future resolution. Apparently there are 9 different pension systems in the state of New Jersey that have varying degrees of financial problems. The 2 most stable are the ones that we contribute to. the police, fire, retirement system, and PERS. I think PERS is fully funded in perpetuity, however they calculate that. Police and fire is like 40 years, and with some minor modifications and contributions can be funded in perpetuity. Well, it won't surprise you to find out that some people want to take those two stable funds and merge them with the 7 troubled ones, which I'm firmly against. I think if you're sitting here in Garwood, you should be firmly against. So I just want to put that on the radar screen. I'll be looking for legislation. Maybe we could put out a resolution, either supporting not doing that or opposing doing that. The only other thing I just wanted to mention, Tina sent around the maintenance contract, the shared services with the Board of Ed. So I just want to put that on people's radar screen. Do people want to renew? I don't know, Lou, if you got any feedback. I mean, we're almost through a full year. Has it worked out well? I mean, we could have a meeting on the buildings and grounds. I know you're not on that, but I know, you were involved before. I mean, does it seem to be working the way it is?
Well, I think that's something that you should have a meeting, I guess, with the Board of Ed, just like we did last year, and just to speak to them, just see how it's worked out for them as well.
Okay.
We get the recipient, of the cleaning, but how does it work for them? I mean, every time I've been down in the building, it's been perfectly spotless, so as far as us, getting what we're paying for, I think we're getting a very good deal.
So I just want to put that on people's radar screen, especially if you're not in buildings and grounds. If you have any concerns from our plans, please let them know. And I think that's a good idea. I'll approach the Board of Ed and we'll set something up with them. That's actually all for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Sarno?
Yes, I have 3 things. The first one is just kind of reiterate what Councilman Mackey brought up. The League of Municipalities put on a great seminar, a lot of learning experiences going on, and I definitely learned a lot. I look forward to bringing all that knowledge here to the council chambers of Garwood. My second item is I would like to vote on our stipends. I would like to take that down from $1,500 to $1, if possible. I'd like to have that tonight. The third thing, is I would like to amend the current ordinance that would disallow the mayor and council from receiving health benefits. Other towns have done this. Namely, it was Dumont in Bergen County and also Midland Park. I think that we can also do the same thing. Currently, right now, we are over $30,000 being paid out to council people, and I think that this is the time, and we owe a responsibility to the borough of Garwood to have a vote on this, to discuss it, and to bring that forward. I think that's going to be it. Is there any other discussion about this? I mean, what I'm specifically talking about is Chapter 30, Article 14. I think if we include the mayor and council in there, just as Dumont did in Bergen County, I think we can disallow health benefits going forward. Right now, it's very costly.
I believe we can say that, I don't think we can vote tonight on that.
Understood.
Is that correct, Mr. Lott? We have to set up a,
Well, it'd have to be an ordinance, obviously, in order to have a formal vote.
I would be in favor of that. I would second that. And just as Councilman Sarno mentioned, I have been reading about Dumont and Midland Park. Also, I think Kearney tried to actually do it the other way. But if there's a way we can go ahead and modify our ordinances to do that and do away with benefits for part-time elected officials, I believe we have an obligation to do that, and I would definitely second that amendment, whatever form that it takes, amendment to an ordinance, an intensive resolution, but whatever that is, Mr. Brown.
I agree. You've done your research on this, and it was very thorough, so I concur.
Sario, can you do that in your office?
No, it does not. Mayor and council have to directly turn their an ordinance, but I believe that we would have to, if I looked into it, I thought, I'm not sure, but I thought that in my research, I found out that you can't do that. If you guys know a town that did it, can you get over with what you got?
Absolutely.
Because somebody, I remember I inquired about it, and somebody told me that wasn't an option. You could engage so please, if you have something, and then you would direct the attorney to get an ordinance, that wouldn't come from me, that would be my decision or my, responsibility.
Mayor, if I may
Yes.
make a suggestion, perhaps we should use the committee process for that, considering that there's, research out there on the table, or not really on the table yet, but there is research being brought to our attention tonight. I think using the committee process would be the most effective way of going about that. But obviously,
Because we're talking about dollars, I think you should go to finance.
finance also needs to be.
Well, I don't know if that, I don't really support that. I'd rather not go through the committee. And also I want a little more color on how that works. Who would be voting on that within the committee? But I do not support that. I would actually be fine bringing that ordinance on, and I will second that amendment.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jim.
As the mayor, I've always said that it should go into a committee. The whole thing should be coming out of your committee, so.
I think the committee could at least make a presentation of the information, and then it could still come up for a vote.
We always have to vote.
Well, I just have one question. Being that this is about me, should I be on the committee? Should I be on finance? Should I be on the committee that's going to investigate?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay, then we'll go to the laws and license. Councilman Martin, would you spearhead that, getting the information together?
You can forward it to me, I can collate it and send it out to
Okay.
the committee or to the group as a whole.
Just so that we're sharing
I have access
information
to it.
properly.
I have access to, a computer and collating the documents that you get and passing it along with an email trail, so.
Okay.
Just tell me if you want me to send it to everybody or just some people.
And Mr. Renaud, I would be
Yeah.
curious just to see what, any legal opinion you have, any differentiation we have with Dumont and or Midland Park or any other towns that may have done this recently.
Yeah, I'll take a look. The only off the top of my head differentiation I can think of is that Garwood is in the state health benefits program that has certain regulations that, in other words, certain eligibilities. I don't know if that's one of them or not. It was a good point that the administrator raises. We'll have to check with state health benefits and see if they allow it. But that's the only distinction I can think of.
And I just want to know when the Laws and License Committee will be getting back.
Let's get them the documents first, and then we'll.
I'm on the laws and license committee. I can definitely provide all the documents that I have thus far.
Okay.
And further anyone else's record, Midland Park did this last month. We were looking at Bergen records.
And as far as Mr. Sorno said, I'm okay with putting that resolution on for eliminating the stipends tonight. You have my full support in that.
I don't believe we can do that.
You have a mover and a second, you could put a resolution.
I believe it's a salary, so it'd be salary ordinance, right?
Can I just back up for a second? I just want to make sure I understand about the other matters. I'm not to do anything. You're going to handle it. Nobody's going to give me anything. I'm not to distribute anything. You said you are to take care of it.
Yep.
Just please copy me, whatever you distribute.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think for a resolution would be okay. And again, this would be for Mr. Renaud. On the salary ordinances, from what I understood, went ahead and established a range. We then have resolutions that were established under that. And then we can go ahead and do that. What I'd like to do is set the amount at $1. And basically, we have 3 people voting for it. If the other Councilwoman Tedisco, Mayor, it would be great if you provided some leadership on this, or Councilman Martin, Councilman Petrozelli. We're 1 vote away from eliminating stipends and saving this town, I think it was $11,800 per year. Yeah. Well, do you support it, Mayor?
No, I don't. I ask, if I may, with regard to the stipend issue, over the past 20 years I spent on council here in Garwood, wherever the issue came up, it was a personal choice made by an individual person, discussed privately with the business administrator. There was no grandstanding, and it was a personal, individual decision that was not legislated, nor should it be. On a personal level, my stipend is spent on providing refreshments for council meeting, various donations at local organizations, gifts for celebration happenings in the borough. Also, I believe there is a worth to being on this dais, doing all the homework required to make informed decisions, and spending time sitting on committees and various boards. I'd like to think that our time is valuable and worth something. If anyone chooses to forego their stipend, it should be a personal decision.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes,
It's
Councilwoman.
my turn, and I'll reiterate some of this. But on the stipend issue with the salary ordinance, right now the minimum is not $1. So I believe it would have to go through that process first before a resolution could fall under it, since it's not covered in the range. But I did have an item for workshop. And so as I've done in the past few years, I've prepared a rotating schedule for council members to attend Union County freeholder meetings in an effort to increase Garwood's visibility with the county. As long as it's okay with everyone else on the council, I would like to hand out a schedule tonight in which each council member will get 2 months out of 2016, and it's in alphabetical order, and there are 2 cycles so that the council member doesn't get assigned back-to-back months. Of course, you can always go to more meetings if you want, but I would appreciate everyone's support in this process to ensure that we become more knowledgeable of the county level of government and how it interacts with our borough. And as many other municipalities do not actually attend freeholder meetings, I believe it's in the borough's best interest to continue to show Garwood's presence at the county meetings as it's been doing the past few years. So, like I said, I do have a copy of the schedule with me. If council's so inclined, I would like to move forward with that. Okay. And while we're talking about the matter of the stipend, I have given this some thought as well. And I'd like to say that I think the bottom line is that the salaries for council people exist for a reason, and it stems from the fact that this position is a job. It is there to cover expenses incurred by serving as an elected official, and this is not unique to just Garwood. Garwood salaries at $1,500 a year for council members and $1,800 a year for mayor rank quite low among many of our neighboring towns. For example, Cranford's salary for mayor is about $2,800 and about $2,500 for its committee members. Roselle Park's salary for mayor is $11,000 and $9,000 for council members. The key is to take the position seriously as a job. It's a very time-consuming one, and quite honestly, council members who work hard and put in the time are actually grossly underpaid. However, I'm not advocating, nor have I ever advocated, for a raise. And some councils actually have done that. A couple of years ago, Roselle actually voted to give themselves a 66% increase. I would not advocate an increase, but keeping the salary at $15 is not just about me as one council person, as there were many before me and will be many after me, but taking it down to $1 will now impact those that will serve in the future. In fact, individual council members, both Democrats and Republicans, who wanted to forgo the salary in the past, did so privately and with dignity. To call this kind of attention to a minimal salary for a maximum position is strictly a self-serving political move. To prove this point is just a political stunt. I would like to show the public a post that was made this past Saturday at the League seminar that the council people have mentioned tonight on the Garwood Republican Facebook page, which shows a picture of Councilman Joe Sarno leaning against the wall appearing to be mid-sentence, and the caption reads, "Councilman Sarno explaining to Councilman Matthew why he has to give up his council stipend of $1,500 per year." The fact of the matter is Councilman Matthew agreed to second Councilman Sarno's motion to reduce salaries to $1 precisely 5 days before this post went up. And he had agreed to this back 5 days ago in our reorganization meeting. So this shows quite clearly that this issue is nothing more than a publicity stunt for the Republicans. After all, their chairman has taken this stipend the past 5 years without question. And so I challenge you, Councilman Matthew, that if you are to not take the stipend any further, I would like to see you return this past 5 years worth of salaries for a total of $7,500 to the borough. And Mayor, quite honestly, I have nothing further on this subject, and I'd like us to really get to the business of the people of Garwood. Thank you.
Council President.
I don't have anything prepared. I think that the stipend is a very low amount. I think that this is a job. You know, when you actually sit up here, it's not for you to be someone who's, in the public for one side or the other. And I think that this is something that is minimal. I know that I get stones thrown at me all the time, but I think that this stipend of $1,500 and the mayor gets 1,800 when there's towns out there that get a lot more, I think that it's justified. And I don't think that there's any reason that this should be removed to $1. And I think it should also stay in the budget as well for other people who want to serve and give them a reason to come up here and not just, like I said, get stones thrown at them all the time. So I think it should stay, just the way that it is.
Thank you. If I just say one, go ahead. Yeah, sorry, Council. Go ahead.
Basically, as far as the stipend goes and stating that this is a job, this is really public service, okay? It's not about a matter of $1, $1,500, $5 million. We are up here doing the people's business, and Councilwoman Tedisco, you've really taken everything totally out of context and you've made it political. So like I said, as far as the stipend goes, it's showing our goodwill towards the taxpayers of Garwood. That's all it is, plain and simple.
I just want to say, Mayor, I respect everybody, I respect your own position on this. I would just like to have a vote on it, because I do support Councilman Sarno and in all fairness, Councilwoman Kukrow, because they did propose this. So yeah, I would just like to have a vote on it, and yeah, I understand that there are actually very good arguments, I think, for and against. But I would like to get it on the agenda. Mr. Renoir, do we need to go ahead and amend the ordinance to do
Well,
this?
usually what we do, to tell you the truth, I don't know off the top of my head because I haven't looked at the salary ordinance, so I don't know whether it has a specific amount or a range. I don't
It
know.
has a range for the, no, I actually think
No,
it
ours
doesn't.
is a number.
It just says a number.
I'm not sure.
It goes from,
So
the range
if it's
says
got, if
the
it's
same
got a
number
number,
on
I
both
don't
sides.
know the answer to the question. If it has a number,
Answer it.
then you can't amend an ordinance by a resolution. But generally, what we've done is taken a vote on whether or not you want to change the ordinance, in which case I then go and, change the ordinance. So if that's a desire that there be a vote on whether to direct me to change the ordinance, I suppose we could do that.
That would be in the form of a resolution.
That'd be in the form of, do you have a, one, I wouldn't do it in the form of a resolution. I would do it in the form of a motion, which is what I thought we had, actually.
Could we do a motion like that in the workshop?
Sure, because that's when we usually do them, so that I know somebody then tells me to go ahead and do an ordinance, if there is to be an ordinance. So, yes, I would say you could do it in a workshop, you could do it now, that's what the desire is.
That's designed.
I'd like to see it.
We're looking for a motion for you to prepare something?
Yes, yeah, I mean, I think the motion would be to direct the attorney to prepare an ordinance abolishing the stipend or making the stipend $1.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Do you have a second?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Councilman Kukrow.
Yes.
Councilman Martin.
No.
Councilman Matthew.
Aye.
Councilman Sarno.
Aye.
Councilwoman Tedisco.
No.
Councilman Petrozelli.
No.
This is-
Well, Mayor, once again, it's time for you to vote.
As I said, basically, it's a personal issue, and I think at this point I'm voting no.
Okay? Next.
Okay, we'll continue on at this point. Public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the mayor and council? Please step to the microphone, sign in, state your full name and address. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Paul Nieves. Good evening, Major Lombardo, councilmen and council ladies, and members of our community. My name is Paul Nieves, and I live at 263 4th Avenue in our great town of Garwood. I wish to congratulate the newly elected Councilwoman Kukrow and Councilman Sarno on your recent victories. The message resonated among many in our community. Although I did not agree with many of the tactics employed, the people of Garwood have spoken, and I respect that. As a citizen of Garwood, however, I'm at a loss why Councilman Matthew proposed a resolution to lower the stipend to $1. The literature that the Republicans distributed during the campaign and positions they took at the debates all stated that they would oppose the DPW shared agreement that we have right now. Although the Republicans ran on a platform of accountability to the taxpayer, transparency and disciplined spending, they all voted during the reorganization meeting to hire a DPW employee and police officer without ever offering a basis for the vote and without ever providing an alternate proposal. Despite vowing to be more transparent, Councilman Matthew and Sarno voted no to reduce the tax collector salary for Garwood from $50,000 to $17,000 at a savings of $33,000 without ever explaining why. To Council Kukaro's credit, unlike Councilman Sarno, she and the other council members voted yes to put the taxpayers of Garwood first. When they voted in favor of reducing the salary to the tax collector, Councilman Kukaro voted yes, despite Councilman Matthews' non-verbal commands to vote no. This is why I find this proposal, and at the very first council meeting, particularly disheartening. The resolution that passed and the ordinance that passed is nothing more than a gimmick, designed to give the illusion that positive change is coming. We know this is merely a stunt because this proposal directly contradicts the platform that the Republicans ran on to overturn the DPW shared service agreement. That reversal will cost our taxpayers $70,000 a year. Are you seriously proposing the stipend resolution under the guise of saving our taxpayers $11,000 after having run a campaign and a platform that would cost the taxpayers $70,000 a year and voted no to saving an additional $33,000 a year? This proposal is also short-sighted. The people of Garwood would have to wait over 6 years to see the equivalent savings of the DPW shared agreement that the Republicans promised to overturn.
Mr. Menez, are you almost finished?
I'm almost done, Mr. Mayor. The resolution regarding their annual stipend misses the point. As Council Lady Kikero said, it's not about the salary. Serving as a councilperson is about working for the citizens of Garwood for a greater good. Serving as a councilperson is about being part of a team, making difficult ideas, designed to bring meaningful and positive change to our lives. Serving as a councilperson is about making difficult choices after research and forethought. I'm a firm believer that the charity should be done behind the modesty of a closed door. Whether a councilperson serves our great town for $1,500 a year, $750 a year, or $1, doesn't make the service more noble, effective, nor the servant more deserving of being in the office. This proposal is insulting and patronizing. We need resolutions to put the people of Garwood first. We need resolutions designed to promote the long-term interests of our town. We need resolutions that are novel and insightful and not political stunts designed as self-promotion. Foregoing the stipend is a personal choice that should be made in the solace of one's conscience. Over the years, other council members have given up their stipends, but it wasn't grandstanded for public consumption. It's a personal choice that should only be known to the councilperson. And for those reasons, I just wanted to express my disappointment in the Republican resolution. Again, as Councilwoman Shkukaro said, it's not about the money. It's about making hard choices and about voting independently and by having foresight and doing what's good for Garwood. And this is just nothing more than a stunt and political gimmick, and I'm really disappointed in the Republicans. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who wants to step forward?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Richard King, 412 Hazel Avenue, Garwood. As the attorney just pointed out, it's the personal choice to rescind your $1,500 stipend or whatever it is. And I understand Mr. Sarno, new councilman, rescinded his. I asked Councilwoman Kukaro, you said in your debate over at the point that you would also rescind yours. Are you willing to do that?
Yes, I am. You mean to?
Will you do it tonight? Have you rescinded your $1,500 stipend?
I think I seconded it. Did I?
Yes.
Your personal choice.
Well,
We had
I
a
think
vote.
I seconded it.
So you rescinded your stipend?
Yes.
You're not getting paid?
No, that's not correct. Mayor, Councilwoman, what we did, we voted on to authorize Mr. Renaud to prepare an ordinance change, and we voted that down no. when it comes to-
Right. And then it was a personal choice for anybody on, sitting on council
Right.
to
That's
not
correct.
take the money,
That's correct.
which was part of your political stand at the point. Have you rescinded, are you willing to rescind
Yes,
it?
I am absolutely
You're-
willing to rescind my $1,500.
Right now, you will do it right now?
Yes.
Make a motion to do that, please. It has to be, am I correct?
I don't know if you're able to make that motion, but.
No, it doesn't know. You want to do that right now? Just decline it if she's.
Decline it? Okay.
As can anybody else.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor, Council, how
Good
are you?
evening. 3 minutes.
Pardon?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
He's the only one
Have
that
a
gets
seat,
that
Lou.
warning.
I do not support any proposal to eliminate or reduce council member salaries. I believe that in asking for such a change, you're selling yourself short. You're indicating that your jobs are not worth anything, they're worthless, they are valueless. I disagree. Guard council positions are worth something. Good council members invest a lot of time and make important decisions for all of us. Council members know that when you calculate the time input versus salary, it comes out to about a quarter an hour when you're doing your job. When you're adding council donations for EFG, ALJ, and all the other requests that come through in a year, it's even less. No one runs for council in order to make money. I believe that all council members are worth their pay, whether I agree with your positions or not. You deserve the salary. I believe that any such proposal is nothing more than political showboating. Not the council member Sarno's thought is, I believe that he is sincere. I also believe, however, the Republican Party Chairman Matthew is jumping on his sincerity and advancing his conviction, while at the same time belittling your offices by advancing an obviously soundbite, good policy that in reality is worthless. I say that because the total amount of savings by every council member giving up their salaries is $10,800 a year. Some council members say they ran because they want to do what the people of Gar would want them to do. That they will not make decisions that serve themselves, but only those that serve the people's needs. Well, the people of Garwood have not asked you to eliminate your salary. There's been no referendum or public outcry about $11,000. You state that Garwood citizens should support this proposal because it will save $11,000. As you know, members of the public didn't care about saving $70,000 last year when the council advocated shared services with Fanwood. You can carry this salary savings out to your 3-year term and say it will save $32,000. The shared services will save the borough $210,000 over the same period of time. I also have concerns about the concept of, quote, voting for what the people want, and a council member not replacing his or her view for what the public wants. I guess my immediate response to that is, well, don't we have representative democracy in this country for a reason? Our founding fathers did not opt to enable the public to vote directly on every issue. As I previously stated, the United States has a democratic republic, not a democracy. Right now, Congressman Lance, the very same man who sworn in Councilman Sarno, has a poll out there that shows most citizens in our district support President Obama's recent gun control proposals. Should Congressman Lance propose a resolution in support of the people's position on this issue? I know at least one councilman here will support that. And what constitutes the public's view? Who are the people? The ones who come to a meeting or the ones who stay home? The ones who voted for you or the majority of Garwood residents? The majority of those voters who voted in the last election should be a 2/3 majority? Should the borough invest in door-to-door poll takers to find out what the public wants? And what does council do if the public changes its mind? If we rely on, quote, what the public wants, why have council members at all? Have residents fill out a survey with electronic poll on every issue and decide Garwood laws that way. Should we just install survey machines and not have council members at all? The quote, vote as the public wants is a slippery slope that I do not want this council to slide onto. That's not the democratic republic which I live in. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mayor, could I just get just 1 minute? Can you make 1 second? Sure, absolutely. Mr. Nunez and Mr. Nurstad,
Yes?
would you please email that, your statements to the borough clerk?
Sure.
Thank you.
Councilman?
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say, Joe and Eileen, I know, have made a promise to give up their stipends individually. I was the one who said, hey, listen, if you go ahead and do it, I'll give you my vote. I thought we could have one Democrat join us, one. Instead, we have a near party line vote, so I don't know how this is politics. I was just hoping that we could get everybody to do it, rather than just go ahead and have their selfless, I don't know how it caused so much trouble. I thought what they did was a good idea. And I also think, being the most recently elected officials, I don't think there was really anything polling or anything like this on us, or an outcry from people. You guys had a good idea, and as a third council member, I voted for it. I thought one Democrat would join us. It would have been nice for Democrats and Republicans to come together, if not in a unanimous vote, but a large majority, and give back $11,000 isn't nothing. $11,000 a year in a small town, it's a lot of money.
I agree with you, Jim. I mean, I'm just proud of the fact that I could bring up two proposals that would save the borough close to $45,000 in my first meeting. I think that's to me, I think I'm heading in the right direction, and that's the reason I did it. We have neighbors in Famwood and Westfield that each also take $1, just so there's other neighbors out there that also do the same thing. It happens all throughout the state, and I said before we start firing people, like we did in July, I think we should start with ourselves. That was the whole basis of it.
Okay, council, let's
Thank
have
you.
this public comment, okay?
Once again, Richard King, 412 Hazel Avenue, Broward. It was a campaign promise that was made by the two newly elected Republican candidates, and I just want to be sure that they're both going to hold up to their campaign promises. This is where we start. It's a new slate. You made promises, let's hold to them. Both of us.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Nobody else jumps, so I'll jump. Rich McCormick, 101 Fourth Avenue. Listen, I'm Greenfield and Stipend and all this stuff, but I thought you guys were here to represent us, people of Garwood. So if you guys got a backroom problem about $1,500 or something else, take it to the back rooms. I don't understand all this. I'm kind of lost. I just don't get what the hell we're arguing about. Whether I'm a Republican or you're a Democrat, I thought we were here to serve us, not whatever your agenda is. So we can beat up on the Donald Trumps and the Hillary Clintons, and we both have our mix of what we believe or don't believe, but isn't it about us, our tax dollar? Isn't that what we're here for?
That's right, absolutely.
Should I attend more meetings, get
Yes, you
more
should.
involved? I
Yes,
don't
you
know.
should. Yes, you should.
We'd like to see you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, okay.
Well, I'll be signing in, I guess, okay.
No more, I got rid of it.
We know who you are.
Nobody cooperated.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay, I'm new here.
We know who you live.
Good evening, Mayor Lombardo, ladies and gentlemen, and the council, Bruce Patterson, 325 Willow Avenue.
Mr. Patterson?
The stipend, yeah, actually, Councilman Matthews is right. I mean, somehow also it blew into a big thing, and now it's political, which I don't think it's political. Somehow the people that are opposing the reduction seem to make it political. I mean, there's a lot of political showboating and grandstanding. These terms definitely are trying to paint as political, but it is. It's for the people. It's trying to reduce the taxes. There were campaign promises made. In the end, you know, you voted to break the tie, and it's not going to be done. But personally, I guess Eileen and Joe will be reducing their stipend according to the promises, which I thank very much, because at least it's something. They're actually looking towards the taxpayers and advocating for us in lessening taxes. Mr. Sarno, Councilman Sarno, also mentioned about the health benefits, savings there. That was an issue I've been talking about a lot. It seems like finally somebody listened and put something forth on the council, which I thank very much. Yes, it's about you, Lou, as you will all know, and I've been saying that also. But, you know,
Let's be discreet.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's about one of the council people up there.
Thank you.
But I've been actually pushing, possibly, you don't have to do it if maybe the council person lowers it down to the $10,000 threshold that I've always been pushing. If he does that, maybe we can drop whatever this fight is over a resolution. I look forward to the resolution because, again, it's saving taxpayers the money, and I appreciate that also, Mr. Sarno. One thing, everybody's talking about the council position is a job, And Ms. Kukrow, Councilwoman Kukrow said, no, it's really not a job, it's civil service, and that is true.
Public service.
Public service. We're looking at you to advocate for us. Whether we pay you or not is actually inconsequential. I mean, it's nice to make money at it, but you have to remember, there's also people sitting at the Board of Ed, and there's people that sit on the planning board, and they don't get any stipends. Are you saying their jobs are valueless? Is that what a lot of people are saying? They get zero, and they do a lot of work. The planning board, I mean, that's a major board that's actually controlling the build-out of Garwood, and there's some heavy-duty thinking of it when it comes to applications there. So, I mean, that's a job, but they're not getting paid anything. The Board of Ed, basically in the same position, they're spending actually more tax money than you guys, unfortunately, but they get paid nothing to spend all that money. So, I mean, are you saying that they should get paid? Is that what everybody's saying here? That if you guys get paid, the Board of Ed should get paid? Is that what it is?
I personally am saying that it was established years ago, and if you want to give it back, it's a personal decision. And that's the bottom line as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, and over the years, there were people that actually reduced their stipend, which, behind closed doors, which I appreciate, I'm not going to name names, but, there are those, and I thank them also for at least thinking about the taxpayers. But what this is thinking about the taxpayers. It's thinking about the taxpayers. It's not grandstanding, it's not some political football, but it was a campaign promise to put it forth to hopefully have everybody on the same page, leaning towards the taxpayers and advocating for us by reducing taxes somehow, some way. That's what we're asking. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else at this point? Seeing none?
Mayor, I know we're in public comment, but I do have a comment, but maybe after public comment would be most appropriate. If that's okay, Mayor?
Can I just say one final thing, please?
Okay.
Just,
Make it short, please.
yes, it's not about the taxpayers' money, okay? We know it's not about taxpayers' money because the Republicans ran on a platform to overturn a shared agreement. We know that this is not about taxpayer money because the Republicans ran on a platform to overturn an agreement that currently saves our taxpayers $70,000. We know it's not about saving taxpayer money because the Republicans, not all of them, to Mrs. Kukrow's credit, voted against saving $33,000 a year in lessening the salary of a tax collector. So it's not about taxpayer dollars. This is about self-aggrandizement. Charity should be done behind the sanctity of a closed door. Let's not further this political stunt, and let's just stay with this. Thank you.
Thanks for your opinion.
Okay, seeing no one else, Councilwoman, we have the...
Yes, Mayor. I just want to say this, and maybe this is just the teacher in me, but I know that as a teacher, I'm called a public servant, and I get paid for that job quite well. And, police, public servants, firefighters right here in the borough, public servants. And they're volunteer firefighters, but they also get LoSAP benefits, as I feel they're entitled to. I advocated for increasing that when it hadn't been increased in about 10 years. So public service does not always mean that it comes at $1 or $0. Public service can also be paid positions, and I wouldn't want to in any way offend anyone in a paid public servant position as well. And also, I just want to say some personal experience on this. Before I got on the council, I didn't even know that council people received stipends. That was news to me when I joined in 2011. And I actually thought about sitting up here and asking the rest of the council to forego their stipend and take it down to $1 to benefit the taxpayers. But then as I thought about that, I realized that that was a selfish reason and that there were people before me that had reasons for taking it. There would be people after me that, hey, they may need it in order to handle the expenses that being a council person entails. And so I decided not to bring that up because I thought that would honestly be rather selfish on my part. And so I am for the taxpayer, but I just wanted to share my thoughts on that subject. Thank you.
And let me also state for the record that the reason that I voted no on the tax collector's salary is I thought it could have been more. not just 30,000, it should have been even more. Okay, it wasn't because I didn't like the idea. We were very close to it, okay? It just didn't happen that way, and that's that, okay?
Okay.
Councilman Sarno, I think it's great that you're sharing your thoughts on that, but just keep in mind for the benefit of the public, anything that is passed by the council has to first be okayed. You can't say hire a police officer at step one if they're not willing to work at step one. So that's just the position the council is in, for example, with the tax collector vote. But I appreciate you sharing your thoughts on that for the public. I think that's good.
Oh, okay, Council, we have, Lisa, would you like to speak?
No.
Okay. That being said, I take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Is that,
All in favor?
does that mean no more public speaking at all?
We can do it again at the regular meeting,
Okay,
okay?
yep, thank you.
We'll resume business at 7:50, please. Thank you.